Hello, friends, and welcome to Adventures in Pixie Land. My name is Amy, and I'm an ordained minister, and we are in Bible study. We are in the NIV, and we are in Second Chronicles. We are in chapter 31. So, picking up where we left off, literally where we left off in chapter 30, talking about Hezekiah celebrating the Passover. Remember, Hezekiah, this is written during the time of the Babylonian diaspora, 500-ish BCE. And Hezekiah was a real king. They found archaeological evidence with his name on it. He was a real person. When all this had ended, the Israelites who were there went out to the towns of Judah, smashed the sacred stones, and cut down the Asherah poles. They destroyed the high places and the altars throughout Judah and Benjamin, and in Ephraim and in Manasseh. After they had destroyed all of them, the Israelites returned to their own towns and to their own property. It's okay. Contributions for worship. Hezekiah assigned the priests and the Levites to divisions, each of them according to their duties as the priests or Levites, to offer burnt offerings and fellowship offerings, traditionally called peace offerings, to minister, to give thanks, and to sing praises at the gates of the Lord's dwelling. The king contributed from his own possessions for the morning and evening burnt offerings and for the burnt offerings on the Sabbath, new moons, and appointed feasts as written in the law of the Lord. So the king is hereby commanded to offer offerings every single day and for every single holiday. It cannot just be what, it cannot just be he demands the other people provide for him. Now, he also gets these things from taxes, so he's commanded to give back what he collects in taxes. He's not exempt from the temple tax. He ordered the people living in Jerusalem to give the portion due to the priests and Levites so they could devote themselves to the law of the Lord. As soon as the order went out, the Israelites generously gave the first fruits of their grain, new wine, oil, and honey, and all that the fields produced. They brought a great amount, a tithe of everything. The men of Israel and Judah who lived in the towns of Judah had brought a tithe of their herds and flocks, and a tithe of their holy things dedicated to the Lord their God, and they piled them in heaps. They began doing this in the 3rd month and finished in the 7th month. When Hezekiah and his officials came and saw the heaps, they praised the Lord and blessed his people Israel. Hezekiah asked the priests and the Levites about the heaps, and Azariah, the chief priest, who was from the family of Zadok, answered, "Since the people began to bring their contributions to the temple of the Lord, we have had enough to eat and plenty to spare, because the Lord has blessed his people, and this a great amount is left over." Hezekiah gave orders to prepare storerooms in the temple of the Lord, and this was done. Then they faithfully brought in the contributions, tithe, and dedicated gifts. Conaniah, Conan, like Conan, I-A-H, Conaniah, a Levite, was in charge of these things, and his brother Shimei was next in rank. Jehiel, Jehiel, Azaziah, Azaziah, Natha, Nahath, Ashel, Ashahel, Jeremoth, Jozabad, Eliel, Eliel, Ismakiah, Ismakiah, Mahath, and Benaniah were supervisors under Conaniah and Shemaiah, his brother, by appointment of King Hezekiah and Azariah, the official in charge of the temple of God. Kor, son of Imnah, Imnah, the Levite, the keeper of the east gate, was in charge of the freewill offerings given to God, distributing the contributions made to the Lord and also the consecrated gifts. Eden, Miniamin, Miniamin, Jeshua, Shemaiah, Shemaiah, Amariah, Amariah, and Shechaniah, Shechania, assisted him faithfully in the towns of the priests, distributing to their fellow priests according to their divisions, old and young alike, spreading the wealth around. In addition, they distributed to the males 3 years old or more, whose names were in the genealogical records, all who would enter the temple of the Lord to perform the daily duties of their various tasks according to their responsibilities and to their divisions. So once they hit 3 years old, their future service to the temple was then recorded according to their family line of what their duties to the temple would be. So there's that. And they distributed to the priests enrolled by their families in genealogical records, and likewise to the Levites 20 years old or more, according to their responsibilities in their divisions. So that's when they're to come to duty, 20 years old. They also have a stop point, I think somewhere around 50-ish. They include all the little ones, the wives, and the sons and daughters of the whole community listed in these genealogical records. Very important, because for a Levite male, it was very important to be married to someone still in the Levite family, because they're in a state of purification based upon the purified food they're eating in their father's house. It's all about keeping the soul clean and not contaminating it with other people. As for the priest, the descendants of Aaron, who lived on the farmlands around the towns or in any other towns, men were designated by name to distribute portions to every male among them and to all who were recorded in the genealogies of the Levites. This is what Hezekiah did throughout Judah, doing what was good and right and faithful before the Lord his God. In everything that he undertook in the service of God's temple and in obedience to the law and to the commands, he sought his God and worked wholeheartedly, and so he prospered. If you want to find out what happens next, because adversity does come to Hezekiah, you're going to need to come back for the next video, friends.